What is equality? We hear this word everywhere. Equality in marriage, gender, politics, religion, education, and economics. But what does this mean exactly, and how does it apply to our lives? The dictionary defines equality as the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. Ideally, equality is about ensuring that every individual has an equal opportunity to make the most of their lives and talents. It is the belief that no one should have poor life chances because of where, what, whom they were born, what they believe, or whether they have a disability. Our country's Declaration of Independence proclaims that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. It took our country quite a time to achieve this standard, and the U.S. is still a work in progress in this regard. The forced displacement of Native Americans, the existence and treatment of slaves, and the second-class status of women, to name a few, are not proud times for the United States. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the Constitution abolished slavery, addressed citizen rights for former slaves, and gave black males the right to vote. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. While the United States has made much progress towards an equal society, we still have a ways to go. Today I will focus on economic equality, which is about a level playing field where everyone has the same access to the same wealth. Specifically, I will address that capitalism causes economic inequality, whether good or bad, and people desire fairness more than actual economic equality. To begin, Yaron Brook, in a journal titled Economic Equality is an Immoral Ideal, published in the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy in 2017, claims that one of capitalism's greatest virtues is the fact that it has created inequality. This means that capitalism allows creators of wealth to keep it. The more productive a person is, the more he will make. The less productive a person is, the less he will make. Capitalism in a free market is a system of earned inequality. 350 years ago, the pre-capitalist West was dirt poor, and there was equality of poverty. Accordingly, today, in most pre-capitalist countries, there is less inequality than there is in the United States, even though the United States ranks among the most free countries in terms of economic freedom. Countries that embrace capitalism and free markets, both historically and geographically, are more likely to flourish economically and socially. Yaron Brook believes that this inequality is good. People have different skills, roles, and talents. There are people smarter and more creative than others. This intellect and creativity leads to such things as smartphones. All of us have benefited. If these individuals make billions of dollars, that is just part of the incentive to make and market such products. Yaron also addresses J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter books. She became a billionaire, and you may have become $25 poor. He doesn't believe there is a problem with this scenario. You're probably better off from reading the books, and Rowling got monetary compensation. With such voluntary trade, the transactions are a win-win and we all profit. Few people actually advocate for total equality of outcome because they know how unacceptable this view is. It has been tried with communism and socialism, and the outcomes are typically horrible. Yaron suggests that the ideal we have all accepted is that economic equality is good, but it's just not practical. He goes further to say it is impractical and an evil ideal. Yaron states that the only legitimate equality is the equality of individual rights. Every attempt to create equality of outcome or equality of opportunity violates the idea of equality of rights and equality of liberty. The liberties of a person are restricted in order to increase the opportunity and outcome of someone else. Yaron believes that inequality is a trademark of freedom. In contrast, Juliet Schor, in a journal titled What Can We Do About Economic Inequality?, published in winter 2016 by the Anglican Theological Review, states that economic inequality is a nasty disease, and the evidence of that nastiness escalates year by year. She believes that this inequality has become a distinct feature of our capitalist economy. Capitalism is a system that excels in accumulating assets and power in the hands of a few. 48% of all global wealth is held by the top 1%. A mere 80 individuals now own the same amount of wealth as more than 3.5 billion people. Money being concentrated in the hands of a few allowed those few to accrue political power. Juliet Schor insists that we are in a vicious cycle in which economic power equals political power and then is used to transform laws, regulations, and budgets, which creates more wealth for the 1%. She believes that these problems require that solutions are approached in a new way. The wicked problem of economic inequality will need a new economic paradigm and a new economic system, those that yield efficient and socially beneficial outcomes. Some of these include innovations in food, renewable energy, finance, cooperatives, and consumption and sharing. which will make for a more equal economy that will meet the needs of people on our planet. To move on to my second point, Paul Bloom, in an article titled "People Don't Actually Want Equality," published in The Atlantic in 2015, insists that people are actually more concerned with fairness than equality. He explains that people such as Bernie Sanders speak about economic inequality often, and many Americans allege to be deeply troubled about the divide between the rich and poor and support a more equal distribution of income and wealth. However, Paul Bloom argues that we aren't really bothered by inequality for its own sake. Paul Bloom references a book called On Inequality by philosopher Harry Frankfurt. Here, Frankfurt suggests that we may be troubled by the unjust causes of economic inequality, such things as your sex, the color of your skin, how much money your family had, or by the consequences of economic inequality. It corrodes democracy, increases crime, diminishes happiness, but inequality is not what is really bothering people. A world where everyone suffered from poverty would be perfectly equal, but few would choose that over the current situation. Interestingly, researchers have discovered that when children are asked to distribute rewards to strangers based on equal amounts of work completed, the children are biased towards equal distribution. Yet, this desire for equality more likely reflects a wish for fairness. When the child was told that one of the strangers had completed more work than the other, they were quite comfortable with the inequality of rewards so long as it was fair. More work equaled more reward. These findings adhere well with what other psychologists and parents have observed. When treats are distributed, children complain if they get less, but are content if they receive more. Other primates behave similarly. Monkeys enjoy cucumbers, but if they are handed one after seeing another monkey get a grape, which they love, they become angry. However, the monkey with the grape is perfectly fine with this advantage. In addition, Frankfurt's study found that when asked to create a perfect society, respondents chose those in the top fifth to have about 3 times more wealth than those in the bottom fifth. That is not equality. It just seems more fair. Frankfurt emphasizes that Americans want a far more equal society, but that they don't actually want equality, they want fairness. I interviewed my mother. I asked her what she thought about economic equality. She believes that those with the same experience and education, regardless of sex or race, should receive equal pay for the same job. However, a brain surgeon should not receive the same pay as a factory worker. She is not for taking from the wealthy and spreading the wealth around. The wealthy should be able to choose who they share their money with and when. She does not have a problem with the inequality that capitalism creates. In conclusion, we all want to be treated equal. We want to be treated as valuable human beings, not based on our gender, sexuality, skin color, ethnicity, political beliefs, etc. We desire the same rights and liberties as everyone else. However, when it comes to economic equality, things may be different. Capitalism, which most agree causes economic inequality, is considered a great virtue by some and disease by others. Yet, in a free country as the United States, a free market prevails over communism and socialism. Capitalism may cause economic inequality, but it also encourages entrepreneurship and hard work. In addition, when it comes to economic equality, studies with people and animals have shown that fairness is actually valued more than equality. And that is something we all can agree upon, that we want to be treated fairly.